Good evening, can I be heard? Yes, can I be heard? Hello.
Hello.
Okay, so I don't know who's keeping the rest joining. I will start. So we have waited for the class was supposed to start at 7 o'clock. At 18 minutes down the line. It's only you. So I think maybe for some reason they might be busy somewhere. So let's just start and hopefully they will join us, and then if any questions we address it as we move on. I hope that is okay.
Yes, please.
Okay. So the last time we met, we spoke about one of the principles in Java, and that is the principle of encapsulation. I hope you were in the class the last time.
No, please.
Oh, that would be a bit of a problem because we are building on it, and we are moving to another principle called inheritance. You know that as for now, we are looking at four principles: encapsulation, inheritance, abstraction, and polymorphism, right? Um, the reason why I'm focusing so much on these principles is that whether or not these are the principles that we are going to be quizzed on, and we are going to be quizzed on Java and PHP. And in PHP and Java, we are supposed to know how to code or apply these principles in both programming languages. So, and because Java, PHP is mostly related to Java, if we understand these principles in Java and how it is programmed, okay, we can just make some slight editing to it in PHP, and we'll be just fine. Are you okay?
Yes, please.
So that is why I am making. Hold on for me. All right, so thank you very much for making it to join us. As I was telling my brother Eric, the last time we met, we looked at one principle in Java, and I'm trying my possible best to cover all these principles that we have so that we can just make some slight editing to them as we move straight to PHP. Do you understand? So for now, our focus is understanding these four principles: encapsulation, abstraction, inheritance, and polymorphism, and how they work, okay, in JavaScript, and then slightly migrate or gradually migrate to the other programming languages and make some editing to them and see how they are also programmed in those languages. And if you get the fundamental understanding right here in Java, you have no problem. Okay, so for now, that is my main that is my main concern. Okay, that's my main concern. And before we start this class, do any of you have any question to ask about what do we say about our last meeting? If you have any question to ask, please raise up your hand and do it before we go on with what we are supposed to do today. So we are going to look at inheritance, and inheritance entails a lot. Okay, inheritance, understanding of the concept of inheritance entails a lot. Okay, so if we are able to I don't want to brush through it like that. Otherwise, you won't get it. So I always say that I want the class to be very interactive. At any point in time, you can stop me and ask me any question, okay? So that I don't talk 1 hour and then I'll have to come back, okay? So please, do you agree to that? Can I be heard? All right, Emmanuel, thank
Yes,
you. All right. So then let's move on to the next principle since no one has any question to ask. Okay, so I'll share my screen quickly and then we move on. Okay. Beforehand, I started coding something just for the class. So I'll just clear some one or two things, then recode again for the explanation. So forgive me if I share my screen and see so many things all over the place. Forgive me. And I'll be using a little bit of AI and all just to give you a better explanation of what I see. And I hope that will also be okay.
yes, please.
All right. All right then. Thank you for the confirmation. Let's jump right into it. Give me a moment. Let me close some of these apps. Okay, let me share my screen. Okay, I hope my screen can be seen from your end. If not, kindly raise the consent to that. Can it be
See.
seen? It can be seen.
Yes.
Yes, please.
Good, 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 good. All right, so today we are going to look at the principle of inheritance. Okay, the last time we met, we looked at encapsulation and we kind of like coded some encapsulation over here. We didn't really do much. We just looked at we coded a couple of attributes or fields, okay, but we just l- um worked with only one because of time. And the rest also in their own sense applies the same principles and you can be able to work around with them. Okay, so the private and before I go on, for now we are going to look at three we call them access modifiers. The last time I was in a meeting with you guys, I made mention of access modifiers, okay, and I said that they determine how a particular attribute or a particular method is supposed to be accessed, okay. So if we say private, okay, we have a meaning for the usage of private. Oh, so sad, I've closed my browser. I shouldn't have. Okay, let me see if I can still have access to with what I the kind of conversation I have with the AI inbuilt inside this browser. Okay, no. Oh, so sad. All right, so don't worry, I can still answer the same question again. So we look at it. Now, when we say a private access modifier, okay, a private access modifier gives you the ability, okay, to access the attributes or methods, okay, in different classes, okay, using getters and setters, okay. You can use getters and setters to access these attributes, okay, in different classes inside a particular package. Inside a particular package. And what is a package? A package is used to organize multiple classes. Are you okay? So we can have a super class, okay, that's the main class or whatever you create. Okay, having attributes inside that are private, okay, and these private attributes can be accessed, okay, inside that particular package, other classes you create inside that particular package using what we call as methods or getters and setters. Are you okay? Simple as that. And then for protected, okay, protected limits the access of the attribute to that class alone. Okay, it limits it to that class alone. You can't access the attribute from other classes. You can only access it inside that particular class. And with time, as we are using them, I'll be explaining them and all. So you don't really have to worry yourself about it. Now let's look at inheritance. I always give a simple definition as much as I can, then we start going around it. How much is further? Okay, that won't work for me right now. Sorry about that. Parent is calling me and I just vacated yesterday. Can you believe it? Vacated yesterday, you know, let me rest. Being a teacher is not easy. No problem, man. Quite forgive. Let's continue. So, what is the principle of inheritance? What is it? I always like that we interact. So, I would like somebody to read the commented aspect of what is on my screen. Okay. So you can voluntarily read it for us, or we just stay here forever. Just kidding, no, but please, somebody should read for us. Let me go back to it so that somebody reads for us. Let's close this down. Yes. Hey, nobody's reading it. That's him. Cheating. Okay. All right. Okay, so since we have our dear sister Vida with us over here right now, as for Vida, I believe that Vida will read it for me. Vida, I believe her, but I don't disappoint me. I just asked that we are just about to start when we are admitted. I was just asking them to read this commented aspect of the code for me for us to start the class. Nobody is minding me over that. I beg, help me out, why? But I want the class to be
So
interactive.
I think that this one is Java, right?
So we are doing
Are
Java
we using PHP or we are doing Java?
I'm doing Java the inheritance principle.
Okay. So you said I should read the code for you, right?
Yes, please. The commented
So
as it's a
so
note
the
that I
commented
want
one.
to yes, it's a note.
Okay,
So I
okay.
want
So then let me start reading it.
yes, please.
Java inheritance into bracket subclass and subclass and superclass.
Yes, please.
Then you come to the benefits, promote code and reusability. Then you come to the definition. So okay, so you are defining the whole thing, right?
Yes, please.
Okay. One class can inherit property, that is the abstract and the method from another. In Java, it is possible to inherit attributes and methods from one class to another. We group the inheritance concept into two categories. Subclass, that's the child class or the child. The class that inherits from other class. Superclass, that's the parent, the class that's being inherited from. Okay, so I didn't read it well. So the superclass is a class that's being inherited from. So we inherit from the parent, just like for instance. Oh, I don't remember.
Emba.
Heredity. Uh-huh. Heredity. Oh, I can't mention that word.
Befa,
Uh-huh.
befa,
So,
befa.
the note here, the NB, nota bene. It also says to inherit from a class, use the key, extend, then keyword. Uh-huh. Menu.
All right. Thank you very much, Vida.
And you're welcome.
Your contribution is really helpful. All right, so in all, we are just trying to say that when it comes to inheritance, okay, there are two classes in that comes into play generally. One is supposed to be the super class, okay, that is the class that inheritance is being taken from. So in other words, if your dad or your mom is supposed to make you a next of kin to a property, okay, you are not the owner to the property. Okay, your mom and dad are the due owners to the property unless the condition they set is met. That's if they pass away. Are you okay? So you being the one going to inherit from them, okay, you are called the subclass. Are you okay? In other words, you are the child class. And your parents that are providing that inheritance for you, okay, are in this coding environment are known as the super classes. Please, is that understanding well achieved by everybody? Like everybody understands that, right? At all. Man, the
Yes,
M5.
please. Everybody,
Oh,
we
sure, sure,
understand.
sure, sure.
So, all right. Then we are going to start by creating a class. Okay, so I created a class called the inheritance. As for creating a class, it's nothing new to us. We should at this point be able to create first of all a project and create even when you create the project, a main class is created for you already. You just have to create other small classes inside, okay, or other classes inside the project, okay. So the last time we created encapsulation was class inside this project. So you should be able to repeat that same process by just coming here, okay. Then you click, you come to new, okay. Then you come to Java class, okay. Then you just create a class and name it inheritance, okay. Then that is that. So you should be able to add this. I'm hopeful that all of you are having, or most of you are having your machines with you as I'm teaching. Otherwise, that's how. Anybody without a machine, just raise that. So
Yes,
it
I'm
helps me to
available.
it helps me to know how I will teach, because if I know that all of you are having your machines, I teach in a particular way. If some of you are not having to, I know that for the purpose of the father is not have, let me go in this manner so at least you understand. So the two hands show people that don't have their machines, or they have. There are
Don't
two
have.
hands raised. Don't have. Okay, so
The
Emmanuel
both
says that's okay. Okay, so as far as I know, only two individuals don't have their machines and their IDE environments set up and open. Okay, good. So I'll work alongside with that as well. Please don't hesitate to ask me any questions as of when needed. Okay, so we created an we created a class and called it inheritance because we're about to talk about inheritance. Okay, so that is what we did. Then forget about all this, and that's why I've commented it out just for explanation purposes. Okay. Our main code starts from this line 15. And I created attributes. Okay. I created a class. A class must have attributes. I can't just create a class and it does nothing. Okay. I can't create a blueprint for building nothing. Do you understand? The blueprint is I've created a blueprint to bring out what? Nothing. It does not make sense. Okay, so the blueprint must have class attributes or fields. In other words, whenever you hear attributes, it's the same as fields. Okay, and must also have methods. Okay, in other words, it should be able to do something. Okay, or carry out an action, and so on and so forth. Now, one of those methods is a constructor. A constructor is actually a method. Don't forget that. Okay, whenever you hear a constructor, know that's also a method because it does something. Okay, a constructor does something. So it's a method that is declared in a class. Okay. All right. So we started with I wanted to create, and I started it here. I wanted to create a vehicle class. Okay, and I wanted to hold these attributes below. So first of all, I created a private attribute for the brand. Okay, we are saying that a particular class should come and inherit from the brand I am creating. And I want to assume that we all know how to do. If not, let me just clear this. Okay. Let me just give me a moment. Let me just clear this and we type everything again. We good? Let me clear it and type everything again. Okay. All right. So let's create. Okay. What are some of the things that a car should hold in common? Yeah. As usual, we will type a lot, but we normally work with one. So what are some of the things that a car is supposed to have? Or vehicles, sorry, are supposed to have. That's one of the things. Commonly, all vehicles have them, regardless.
the engine, the tire, the body.
Yeah.
So car is supposed to have engine, right?
Yeah. Not really like the internal or the parts of it, but like some of the attributes. I mean, attributes mean in the sense that
Oh, okay.
like they should all have a brand. They should all have
Um,
like a color,
okay,
like number of
Toyota.
wheels. You understand? Yeah. So
Okay.
one, let's just say all. all vehicles are supposed to have a brand. Okay, we are all supposed to have a brand. We all agree to that. All vehicles are supposed to have a brand. To save time, we can just work with this. Okay, all vehicles are supposed to have a brand. That one there is common, it's normal. Okay, if you are going to buy a vehicle and you don't know the brand of the vehicle, you don't trust the brand, you won't buy it, regardless of how nice it looks like. Okay, you are supposed to have some kind of knowledge about the brand. You're supposed to have some kind of track record on how good its performance is. Are you okay? So brand is very, very important in everything. Okay, and in our part of the world, brand is everything. If your brand is so good, it becomes the name of a product for any no matter whatever brand the person buys. Okay, that becomes the name. If I'm buying toothpaste, I'm buying paste student in that kind of order. Do you understand? Yeah. So we have created an attribute. I'll always be using the terms so that we know them. Attribute or what? What other name is given to attribute? Anyone? Yes, I just stated it.
Field.
Right, good, good. So you have created an attribute or a field in the class. Okay. Now, for the sake of time, as I said, we should just work with one. Now we are coming to create a method. Okay, we are coming to create a method, and we are just saying that the method we are about to create, first of all, is a constructor. I want to create a constructor. Okay. What is the constructor going to do? The constructor is just going to take um a user input, okay, on what type of brand he or she wants, okay, and then store it inside this private field or attribute. Are you okay? So let's just say the constructor. How do we create a constructor from our principle of encapsulation, our knowledge on creating a constructor? A constructor is supposed to approach you, so he or she is supposed to be public, right? You agree to that?
Sure.
Yes, please.
A constructor in its own sense is supposed to what else? We should know the sentence for creating a constructor. I've started for you, like but now come on, let's proceed. Okay. So from our principle of encapsulation, okay, we created a constructor at a certain point. Um, what something and store something somewhere. Okay. I think I erased it the last time after the class. I did erase it. But let me just remind you a little bit by going back to what I cleared so that you see what I'm talking about. So we agree to the fact of the brand, okay, and then this is a constructor, okay. A constructor must be public, okay. It must hold what the name of the class. That's the sentence, okay. Then into what we call as a perimeter. Okay, constructors have perimeters, whether you decide to stay something inside there or not. But it tells you that take work with this perimeter. This is what this is the field, this is the field you're supposed to do. Don't go beyond it. Okay, it's like you're setting a boundary for the constructor. Okay, so we are saying that you're supposed to work with the data type string brand. Okay, and what is it supposed to do with it? It's supposed to take that brand, okay, and then give it to this field over here. And then last time I explained it. So should I clear it and type it again, or should I should just leave it there like that and we continue? If you understand it.
Should- We should move on.
All right. So thank you very much. So he and or if you don't, please say it to sister. You are studying. So once I say I know I can I address it. Okay, so I'm saying that constructor, there's a sentence for constructor. The constructor must be public because it's going to be accessed, okay, in another class. So definitely, obviously, it's supposed to be public, okay. Or if you make it private, I wonder how you work with it. But anyway, so then it's supposed to have the name of the class because you call upon it to come and work, okay. Then it's supposed to have a perimeter. Whatever exists inside this parenthesis is called a perimeter. Something is supposed to work with. And we are telling that whatever you pick up as a data type brand, okay, pick that brand up, okay, over here. That's what I'm saying. Pick that brand up and then give it to the private variable, okay, this private variable here, field attribute over here. So that's all that I've just coded here right now. All right, then I also created another method. Okay, and then I said, let this method have the data type string. Okay, it's supposed to return something. So I didn't say void. Ideally, if not supposed to return something, I would have said public void. Okay, but it's returning something. Okay, you can see that I said it should return something. So therefore, void is not needed here. Okay, so we are saying that method does something. So we decided to call the method that what is it? So what does it return? What data type should it return? Okay, it's supposed to return a string, and you can clearly see that I stated a string over here. Okay, so it's supposed to return a string, and then I gave the method a name so I can call upon it. I named the method. Okay, and then inside here are the perimeter, but I didn't give it any word thing to work with. Okay, I didn't give it anything to be working with. Or in other words, take user inputs, pick it up, and then store it somewhere. Okay, no, I didn't give it any perimeter, but I gave it what it's supposed to return at the end of the day, and that is a string. Are you okay? So that's what I created here. Now let's come here. Let's come here down a little. We are going to see that. Remember, we are looking at the principle of inheritance. So whatever I'm typing inside this class is going to be inherited by another class. Okay, it's going to be inherited by another class. So whatever I'm typing, whether method or attributes, at the end of the day, our lesson is not about how to type a method or an attribute or whatever. Our lesson is going to be after typing these things, how am I going to reuse it in another class? Are you okay? So as for these things, you should know how to type them. Okay, now this is a getter. From our last lesson, because of the principle of encapsulation, we knew how to type a getter method. It's a method. A getter method is not, you can, as I click on it, you can clearly see that it stays here with an M, that the get brand is a method. Okay, good. So that's why it has that M over here. So I should go to inheritance. So these are the methods that I've stated here. And this is a field. You can see that it's a field over here. F, the brand that I stated here is a field. Okay, you can clearly see all these things stated up here. If you should come and click on it, you will see inheritance. What are the things in inheritance? I have three methods in inheritance, one field. Okay, good. Let's proceed. So we are going to have this particular method here, and always, as I stated, methods have perimeters, even a constructor. Okay, whether you decide to put something inside there or not, always make sure that your methods are having a perimeter. Okay, for now it is empty. Now this method is supposed to return, you know how getters work, okay, because it is protected in case I need to display the brand that was picked up, okay, by the constructor and stored here. I can't directly access it because it is what? Private. To be able to access it, I need a getter method. Okay, and as last time I explained how getters work because we looked at encapsulation. As I said, I build upon what I teach. Okay, so the last time I was here, we looked at encapsulation, and you can clearly see over here that we worked with a getter. You can see it over here. All right, so it's nothing new to us. So we said, okay, you as a method, what are you supposed to do? You are supposed to go and get, and last time I explained to you why this thing is a capital B, even though the variable is going to get it from is a small b. The name of the variable starts with a small b, by why it is a capital B. Who can remind us on why that is so? Because if I'm telling something to go and get something and you go there and I gave you a name, I say go to brand, okay, and guess what is there. And then the brand, the variable name, okay, is a small b, but you were given a capital B. If logically you will return and say, oh, when I went there, the container I saw had a small b, but the one you gave me starts with a capital B, and I'm sure it's not that. Who can explain to us? I did explain. So who can remind us why this is rather starting with a capital B? Frankly speaking, the truth is, I promised you guys a test, okay, or just an activity. But when a sudden pop up of three straight assignments came, I decided to relax. That was the first thing. And secondly, I was really tight. And as I said, I just vacated yesterday. Yesterday, I had a lot of work to do. I was in charge of entering data for the students and all. So I had a lot packed on me. So as of now, I've not even opened the assignment to look at it or see what it entails. Okay, so otherwise, I would have given you people test on this same question I'm asking because I remember saying it. I was just saying that it's just because of the principle of camel case in readability. Okay, if I should put a capital small b here, okay, this thing becomes barely unreadable. Okay, it does not become read. It's not wrong though. Okay, but it does not become readable. Okay, you can clearly see that if I ask you to read this thing, you try and pronounce it as one word because of there's no difference. It's just like one word. But if I put a capital B here, okay, it becomes readable. Okay, you're able to express and know that no, these are two words. These are two different words. Words get and brand. Okay, this is for the principle of readability. Like camel case and that's all. That's all. And I'm very sure I'll not say this again. Okay, so let's continue. Am I moving too fast? So today myself, I feel like I'm moving fast. Wow, yeah, everything is fine. Okay, one thumbs up is all that I need. Okay, let's continue. So, by are you okay? Gosh, by flow. Are you
Yes,
okay?
listen, that's right. But I'm listening.
Yeah, you are okay.
Yeah, I'm listening to, but I'm not watching this thing.
You're not getting.
At least me, but me, yeah, I didn't say, man,
Oh, okay,
and
okay, okay, okay.
yeah, I'm not
Sure,
talking.
sure,
I'm so sorry.
sure. Don't worry.
Yeah, but you can
Ah,
ask me anything. I'm paying attention to.
okay, all right. Well
Mm.
noted. All right, so the last time we also stated the fact that methods, okay, methods and attributes must belong to a class. So but methods and attributes, okay, don't belong to methods and attributes. So in other words, this is the opening and the closing of this method. I can't type another method inside it. Okay, it's not allowed. Okay, it's really not allowed. I can't type another method inside it. But this method I have typed here, okay, belongs and exists inside this class. You can see that this is the closing and this is the opening of the class. Don't really mind the explanation here. Okay, so all this now existing in the class. Then I leave the class and come and create another class, okay, inside this class. I leave this class and create another class right and I just to bring about I could have decided to create this thing as a separate class. That is the car class. Okay, over here for it to display. But I just decided let me just do everything straight for it down here. It works if you want to create it in another space as well. Okay, don't say it won't work. It will work. It will work perfectly. Okay, so I created a class and I said class. Okay, what should this class be? I decided to still put my access modifier here. I didn't put it here, but I can still put it here. Oh, sorry. Okay, it's in another class, so I can't. In case I was creating it as a separate class, then I put my assets modifier there. But because it is in this particular what do you call it? Like I've just typed it straightforward, so I don't need to bring because one of it has already been stated here. Okay, that classes are supposed to be public. Okay, so let's continue. Mhm. All right, so we are going to have a class called car. Okay, and we are going to use the extend keyword as we read from here. I think where was the word? Okay, here's it. It said notably we are supposed to inherit from a class. Okay, we use the extends keyword. Extends. Please don't type extend and say that it did not work for you. The word is extends. There's an S. Okay, so we are going to say that let this car class, okay, or inherit from the inheritance class, okay. I decided to call this inheritance for the fact that we are treating the topic inheritance, but you can name it any other thing you want. Maybe you can decide to say brand, okay. So in other words, we will say that let the car inherit from the brand class. Are you okay? So we are saying that let this car class, okay, inherit. That's what I mean by extends. Inherit from the inheritance class that we have created. And what are the things that a class is supposed to hold, regardless of the fact that it's going to inherit, a class is supposed to hold certain things like what? What is this thing called? what is it called, people? I'm asking a question.
Method.
Okay, so it's supposed to hold a method, but this one's actually an attribute. Okay, or a field. Methods do something. This one is just storing something. Okay, it's an attribute. It's supposed to hold something. Okay, so private. I declared it private. Okay, that means at the end of the day, if I want access to it, I'll need a getter. Okay, don't forget that. I'll need a getter method, and I think I stated that here, but we'll get there. So I said private. Okay, then I said string data type. What data type is going to be held, what the item going to be held inside there, what data type is it supposed to be? Okay, we need the module name. Okay, so the module name is going to be in the form of a string because I'm not going to perform any calculations with it. Okay, so therefore I created a constructor here. Okay, and we know how constructors are created. Please, if you are not really comfortable with how things are going, I can clear everything and then type it again. Okay, so that we follow. If you're okay with that, give me a thumbs up. If not to and you're okay with what we are seeing, we should move on. Response. I'll need your response. Fine then. I think
So,
we should move on.
more responding to our letter. To Titano.
Mm. I can, as I said, I feel like maybe for myself, I feel like you don't understand because some people don't have their machines. Okay, so if I'm supposed to recode everything, fine. But if you're because those that I'm asking the question because particularly because of those that don't have machines right now. Okay, but it's like I'm not getting any response from particularly them as well. So it looks like the code being displayed already and being explained is okay for them. Otherwise, I would have just recoded everything, and in the process of recode, maybe you see okay how it's done. Anyway, since they are fine, let's just move on. So we are going to declare okay a constructor here. I told you a constructor is another method. Okay, it's another type of method. So we said that the constructor also have perimeters. Constructor has a perimeter, and that's what has been stated up here. So I said constructor must also have the name of the class, and you can see it here. Okay, the constructor holds the name of the class. So what is the constructor going to do? It's just going to pick up this and then store it in brand. But remember, brand is not an attribute over here. Brand is an attribute inside the inheritance class. To be able to use it, okay, I must be able to inherit from the inheritance class. Are you okay? If I should take away this thing, okay, if I should remove this thing, this will not be possible. This will not be possible. Okay, I cannot say that let this you can see that anything that has any association to do with brand is highlighted, okay, red, because I cannot call up. Look at this. This one super means that I'm calling upon the constructor inside this class, and you can see I'm calling upon something I'm not inheriting from, and it has an underline it as what red. But this one, the reason why we are not seeing any red here is here because it's a different class from this. I can decide to also state that attribute over here, okay, and say private, okay, private string, and then just say brand, okay, private string brand. Okay, so you can see that it will work. Why will it work? Because it's an attribute for this. I can see that it's just an attribute because it has no relationship with this guy. Okay, it has no relationship with that guy. This is a different class on its own. So therefore, I can say that I'm creating different attributes for this, even though the same attribute is existing in that, but it should also be another attribute over here. But what is the whole purpose of inheritance? And I stated that here. It promotes code reusability, not code retypability. I'm not sure it's a word. Please forgive me, it's not a word. Okay, but I don't know if it's a word, but I'm using it anyway. Retypability, I'm not sure it's a word. Please forgive me. But if it's supposed to be a word, I'm just trying to say that we are just trying to prevent retyping codes. Okay, that is the whole purpose of inheritance. I can just inherit from my dad and my mom instead of building the company all over again. They've already built the company. Let me just take over after they are gone and then make it work. Do you understand? instead of now rebuilding a whole company again. Okay, so that's the whole concept of what? Inheritance. So therefore, there is no need for this, and we have to go back to inheriting. Are you okay? So therefore, I'm saying that
Human.
yes, please.
Yes. So we could have also created a field for the model name, right, at the inheritance class, so that we can then come
Perfect.
and inherit.
It
All right. Sure.
works. It works. All right. But remember that even though we are all Toyota, our model names are not the same. For this class, we are looking at the concept that everything that is inside this class, or every attribute or field inside this class, should be something that any object that we create should have, regardless of whatever module you are supposed to be part of the brand. Do you understand?
I'm a bit confused.
What I'm trying to say is that regardless of the fact that, let me try and bring it down to like a basic practical life example. What example should I even use? um let's just say, I don't want to use car because car is already being used there. Let's just say, what should I say? Okay, in your family, I'm not attacking you though, but in your family, okay, let's just say that you are all related. What is a family? A family is a group of people who are related by blood, marriage, or what, or adoption. If my definition of it is right, it's been a while, okay. But if that is so, you are related to somebody in your family, and your relationship can be just by blood. Okay, you might have totally different names because your father and your mother are not the same. Your father and your mother were coming from two different families as well. Are you okay? In other words, what I'm trying to say is that what holds all of you together as a family is your blood that you inherit. Regardless of the fact that your surname is different, you are from a different father, you are from a different mother, you are from different this. At the end of the day, there is something you all hold in common, and that is your blood. Please, you understand?
I understand that aspect though. I
Good. So
understand
now let's bring it here. I am trying to say that the reason why I am not putting the model name inside this particular class here is because we are inheriting from this class. If you are inheriting from somebody and then the condition is that you must be related to the person, or the condition is you must be related to the person, whether by blood direct, whether by parental association directly or whatever, as long as you have a relationship with the person, in other words, broadly, their blood, you can inherit from the person. What am I saying? I'm saying that if I have a car, you have a car, and they are all Toyota, but at the end of the day, both of them are Toyotas. Please, you understand?
yeah,
Let's
I
let,
get that.
let's start from the hood. So both we are all driving Toyota, but yours might be Toyota Camry, okay, and mine might be Toyota Corolla. Please, you understand? At the end of the day,
I get.
what makes these two cars the same? They are all Toyota, but something also makes them different. And because of that difference, I can't put that difference inside one class. That all other things should come and inherit from
Please,
it.
can I say something?
Yes, please.
So I don't know if I'm not getting the concept well, but then um brand, when we are talking about brand, all cars has brand, and
Precisely.
then all cars has model name or model
Precisely.
number.
Yes.
So I feel like if we're able to set if all other vehicle, all the other car that we punch inside can inherit the brand field, then all
Okay.
other cars can also inherit the model field, the model name field. Because if you are going to enter the model name and then you
Yes,
enter the
please.
model number also, or the brand and then the model number also. So I don't know. It's not like we are
Oh,
entering, they are inheriting the Toyota from scratch, as in inheritance. Then you
yeah,
inherit
yeah,
Toyota,
yeah,
but then
yeah.
you are going to enter. If it's Toyota, you're entering Toyota. Then you are going to enter the model number again. You understand?
Okay. Okay. I
I don't know if
understand. I get where you are coming from. But my concept is we are looking at just one particular brand. From your concept, you are looking at different brands. Okay. All also going to have at the end of the day a model number or a model name. Do you understand? Mama, I'm saying that I'm just looking at one particular brand. All car, all vehicles in one particular brand, whether a motor, whatever, they should all be Toyota. I don't know, that's the only relationship they have, that they are all from one brand. Do you understand?
I, I get you, but then also I feel I don't know. I don't know. Like
Oh yeah, I get you. What I'm trying to say is that since they are all from one brand, but they are all different types of vehicles, okay, they should not have the let me say, they should not have an attribute in common as model number, but they should have an attribute in, because all of them, their model numbers are going to be different, or their model names are going to be different, but they are all coming from one brand. Are you okay? I'm just looking at one brand. Your concept is trying to say that what if I have different brands? Are you okay? With different model what names? Maybe Toyota, Jetor, all these are different brands, and they are all going to have, at the end of the day, they are all going to have a model name. Okay. So therefore, since they are all going to have these two attributes, okay, then that is if you are looking at different vehicles. By the end of the day, for this purpose of this lesson, I am looking at only one brand, only one brand. Okay, and in this concept, let's
then
just take mhm,
if only one brand, then why don't we just make it a constant?
make the what do we call it, the brand a constant.
Yes.
Oh yeah, we can make it a constant. We can make it final. Okay, we can make it final over here. We can make it final. We can make it a constant. But we are it's a lesson for probably at the end of it. I was trying to I'll try to introduce the usage of final at the end of the lesson. Okay, so but what I'm trying to say, I hope you get me. I'm just trying to say I get where you are coming from, in the sense that if we are having different vehicles all over the place, there are two things they are all going to have in common. I don't know, they are all going to have a brand and a model name, right?
Yes.
So therefore, it's very sensible that if I'm creating an object, okay, this object is supposed to at least inherit these two things. Good. But in this case, I am just looking at one particular type of brand, okay, and I'm saying that all of them should belong to this particular brand. So whatever object I create, they should only have this brand, but they are all going to have different model names. Please, you understand?
That is what confuses me. You see, let's take humans for example, like me and you,
Yes,
and we are
please.
saying what do we have in common?
Yes,
We
please.
all have eyes and we have eye color. You
Good.
understand? So now we are creating a field for eye color. So I don't know. We cannot say eye color is compulsory. I mean, I don't know if that word is correct, but then we cannot say compulsory. It should be brown or something like that. Like we all have eye color. That is what we have
Yes,
in
please.
common. Eye color. So we are setting a field for eye color so that uh, 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 we can inherit from the eye color, where we will then, from when we are testing the codes, we will now enter the eye color there proper. Like
Yes, please.
I don't know. I
Sure.
don't know how to explain it proper
Yeah,
way
I get,
so
I
that I
get
can
you, I
understand.
get you, I get you. But let me use your own example again. Okay, so we are both humans, right? What do we have in common, as you say? At the end of the day, we are all humans. You mean example. You mean, let's take this whole world. We are the only two human beings here. Sorry, no offense. I'm not saying all of you are animals, though, but please don't take it that way. What I'm trying to say is that, what I'm trying to say is that if you and I, okay, are supposed to have certain things in common, okay, what are the things we have in common? We stated, okay, at the end of the day, we all have eyes, we all have eye color, we all have hair, we all have height, we all have something under in between our legs. I don't want to mention it here. But we have attributes of a human being that makes both you and I males. Let me put it that way. Okay, are we following? But
Yes.
understand the fact that we are different. Even though we are all inheriting from this, if I'm supposed to enter some specific let me see, as you were saying, some specific like requirement, like the particular eye color, the particular height, is all going to, but we're all going to inherit from this. You are right. Are you okay? But what I'm just trying to say is that since both of us are humans, okay, and right now as I'm talking to you, I'm treating the topic of a class inheriting from another class, not an object receiving attributes from a class. That's what we are talking about right now. Like one object going to have all these attributes regardless. We're not talking about objects picking up the attributes of a class. We are talking about another class inheriting from a class. Please, are you following?
Yes, yes,
And I'm
I'm following.
saying that that class should have a, what is a class? A class is supposed to have like a group of attributes on its own. Okay, so if a class is supposed to have a group of attributes and it's picking some attributes from somewhere else, that is going to have in common with it. I'm not supposed to type these attributes all over again. I'm just saying just extend there and pick it up. Do you understand? But what in the
Yeah.
concept that it's not supposed to have exactly the same attributes. If it is having the same attribute, then why should I repeat the class again? Why should I retype the class again if at the end of the day everything is already there? I'm typing a different class that has a different set of attributes, but to a certain extent, it has the same attributes as the class I typed before. It has some, let me just say same, some of the attributes of the class I typed before. Please, are you following?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, so that's the whole concept. A class inheriting from another class, but that class holds its own attributes and methods. But just that for some reason, it can go and borrow some of these attributes and methods from another class because it is always it's going to be doing the same thing at the end of the day. In that sense, okay. So if let me say, if you and I in a kitchen preparing food, okay, I you go if you and I in a kitchen preparing food and we have you two are dated salt. Let me no advertisement here, but let me just bring that here. You two are dated salt, two sachets, okay, with two containers that we are using to prepare food. Do you think if you are preparing sorry if you are preparing banku, you need salt at the end of the day? I'm preparing rice, I'll need salt at the end of the day. If both of us are preparing two different food, we are in other words, we are using two different blueprints to bring out two different things. But at the end of the day, you decided that you tear your salt package first and pour it into your container. I have not started mine yet. Then you use some of the salt. You are not able to finish. You use the salt. That is the attribute. Because at the end of the day, there's supposed to be salt in your food and salt in my food, regardless of where the salt came from. Do we agree? Even though we are all preparing two different foods, we agree to that. Good. So therefore, I want to ask you a question. Is there a need for me to tear my package of salt and pour it into a container and use it when yours is still available? Inheritance. Yours is still available. They didn't use everything, and what is left over is quite enough for me to use, and more than enough in pool. Is there a need for me to like unseal my package and pour it into a container whilst yours is still there? I can still use your attribute of salt is still there. I can still use. Is there a need?
No, no, not necessarily.
Precisely. So I can just pick your container of salt and use it. That is if you allow me. So please, are you getting the concept? At the end of the day, we are all using two different classes. There's a two different classes, and in other words, in real life, I said a class is a blueprint that brings out something. Okay, so into existence. So therefore, if I'm supposed to follow my blueprint and prepare banku, you are preparing the banku, and I'm supposed to you are banku, then I'm supposed to follow my blueprint and bring out what rice. Okay, I know they were preparing food, and both of them will need an attribute of having salt inside it. You use your salt first, then I'm now preparing my food. Your salt is still over there. Why should I untear my salt when salt is still over there? So therefore, I pick your attribute and use it. Inheritance. Please, you understand? We good. Can we move?
Yeah.
Yes, yes, I get you. Please, let's
Yeah, yeah.
continue.
But in the sense that if we are taking we are creating a particular object that is supposed to inherit, all these attributes from a class, okay, then therefore there's no need for us to create different classes for all these attributes. We can just put all these attributes in one class and the objects will inherit from it. Do you understand? But right now we are looking at a class inheriting from another class, even though both of them are doing two different things. At the end of the day, this class is supposed to bring out a model name, okay, and then this class is supposed to bring out a brand. But at the end of the day, let's look at the fact that a model also has a brand. So therefore, why don't I just say that, okay, if I'm creating a model and a model belongs to a brand, and there is a class that is already having a brand, why don't I just go and borrow from that brand based on my model? Are you okay? Yeah. I'll take the silence as a yes. Oh, I've confused you
Yes,
again.
yes, yes.
Okay.
I'm okay. So
Okay.
based on your explanation, then we can simply create another class for I mean something that is not even a vehicle. You understand?
Precisely.
We can create a class
Precisely.
with maybe a clipper, a barbering machine,
Uh-huh.
where it will come and inherit the brand here, but then
Precisely.
it wouldn't need to inherit the engine started something something
You,
there.
you see that thing? Uh-huh. You
Yes,
get
yes, I
it.
get it.
Yeah, so right now, at the end of the day, even though I'm creating a different product altogether, but that product has a brand. Okay. So why should I type brand all over again? But I can just extend it to something that is already having brandings. And take note, please, a class can only inherit once from another class. Take note. Okay. Inheritance can be done one in a class. You can't extend and extend and extend it. No, no. There's a way of doing that in a different topic also, interfaces or whatever. But we will look at that. But for now, take note of the fact that I can't be doing another extend here. Sorry, why am I typing this? I can't be doing another extend here again. Then I'll type what should be extending. No, no, no. We can't be extending too much. Extending is bad. Are you okay? Don't be extending too much. Keep your hand to yourself. All right, so let's continue. So today we are going to what am I saying today? Let's continue. So we are going to look at the next part of the code. Um, we called upon a constructor in this class. For now, just forget about what is going on here. Okay, just know that we are inheriting from there. Okay, good. So I said, okay, create a model name hmm, for an attribute. Okay, inside this class. Okay, model name. Then I came here and said, okay, I want to create a constructor for the class car. It's supposed to bring out, it's supposed to take what? A brand. And then it's supposed to take a model name. Then I called upon the constructor in the what? The main, or in other words, the super class. Okay. And I said, okay, since I'm extending, I'm inheriting from there, and there's a constructor already doing the job of taking brand, why don't I just pick what the constructor has picked as the brand? Okay. And then, or whatever I will put, the constructor here will pick as the brand. Why don't I just pick it up and then send it into the super class? Are you following? It picks it up. So I'm calling upon the constructor here of the super class. Okay, and I'm saying let the constructor come here and do the job. In case I'm not inheriting, I would have manually said what this dot brand. Okay, this dot what brand should be equal to what? To brand. Are you following? That's what I would have said. Are you okay? Because I'm saying that constructor pick up whatever the person will give to you as the brand, okay, and then store it. And so therefore, if I create another, the reason why it's not usable here is because I have to create another private, okay, sorry, private. And then what am I supposed to put here? String, data type, okay. Then what am I storing? What's the name of the container? Brand. Are you following? So therefore, I'm just trying to say that constructor, what are you supposed to do? Pick up the user's input for brand and then store it inside the container what? Brand. Are you okay? Pick up the user's input for brand and store it in the container. And hold on. Give me a moment. Hold on. Okay, so why is there still a red line over here? The red line is because I'm still inheriting. Are you okay? You see it's gone. You see that it's gone. The red line is gone. Okay, so this is just trying to tell me what have I done? I have typed whatever, but after this is what we are trying to we prevent from the whole concept of inheritance. Are you okay? So therefore, to bring that back, what have I done? To bring that back and clear this guy away. Okay, I'll take away this guy. And then I'll take away this as well. So what I've said is that I've called upon the class I'm inheriting from is constructor called what? Brand. I've called upon is constructor called inheritance. And then I've taken its perimeter and I'm saying that whatever the user will input, okay, as the brand, okay, it should just inherit that and bring it here and work with it over here. Do you understand? Good. So I'm just trying to say that. Who has any question about that? If you have any question, you can say. You can ask. So super is used to call upon the what? The constructor of a what? A super class that you are inheriting from, and you make sure that you state the perimeter that you want to pick, okay, inside the parentheses. Are you okay? Any
Freeman.
question? Yes, please.
Yes. So about when you said you can only inherit once, is
Yes,
that you
please.
can only inherit from only one class, or
Like a
within the
class.
class you can only inherit one attribute or one I don't know constructor
No,
from
no, no,
within
no,
the
no,
same
no,
group.
no. What I'm saying that this car class can only inherit one class. It cannot inherit and then inherit another class. We imagine there's another class after this guy, and I want to inherit some of its attributes into this guy. Okay, I cannot say after it has inherited from inheritance class. Okay, this class has inherited from inheritance class. It should now go and inherit from encapsulate. Good. So I can see extend. Okay, I can now see extend encapsulation. Are you following?
I get you. So meaning in this case we can extend the start engine.
We are look, as long as we extend to inherit from a different class, we have automatically inherited all the attributes and method inside that class. Are you okay? But
Perfect,
as of
perfect,
whether I will
perfect.
use it inside my class, I mean that's the subclass. That one it depends on me. I can decide to choose what I want to pick from there and then use. And for this case, we are picking the brand. Are you okay? Because right now in this class we need a module name and then a brand. And I typed it manually here and I showed you how it's supposed to be done in case we are not inheriting. Okay, and because we are inheriting, there's no need for me to type what do you call it? An attribute for brand again, because I've inherited that from here. So all I will do is that I will just call upon the constructor that was picking the brand, and then now tell the constructor that okay, I've called you super from the super class, I've called upon the constructor, but the constructor can be picking more than just brand. In case I stated multiple things here, are you okay? And gave multiple attributes. Okay, the constructor can be taking more than just the brand, but for now it's just picking brand because brand is the only thing I stated here. Are you okay? So therefore, what am I calling the constructor to bring to me from the super class? Just the brand and store it over here for me. Do you understand? So I've whatever is going to be is stored inside this brand attribute here or field here. I've just inherited it by calling upon it over here. After the constructor has done its work of inputting it over here, I just inherited what is inside there by calling upon it. Do you understand? But because this thing belongs to this class alone, I have to tell the constructor to pick up whatever value, okay, is being assigned to this. That is the module name, okay? Whatever value is being assigned to the module name, and then store it inside the container module name. Are you okay? That is the private container module name or private variable module. You understand? Because this thing
Yes.
belongs to only this class. It has no relationship with this class. So therefore, I have to tell the constructor what it's supposed to do with it. But in this case, already there's a constructor being told what to do with a brand. So if I'm inheriting from that place or calling upon the constructor, okay, and then I'm inputting brand and I'm inheriting from that place. The constructor already knows what to do with this brand, and he knows that he's supposed to pick it up and store it inside brand. Do you understand? So therefore, I'm not supposed to tell the constructor or tell the constructor here again what he's supposed to be doing because I've just said from the super, okay, whatever brand is doing over there, that is what I'm inheriting from. Do you understand?
Yes.
Right. Good. So therefore, we have inherited. Now, how do we test all this? Oh, but don't forget, if in case I want to display what is being stored in module name, I need a getter. Okay, and that is what I've done here. I said public getters are public because they will display something out. If it's private, I wonder how. After is the one going to get what is in the private and come and display it to you in the public. So if it is also private, I wonder how to be doing this work. So access modifier for getters and setters are okay. Setters can be private though, because it's certain. But for getters, okay, it's public. Then we declare the data type of what is supposed to display to us, and that is a string. Because at the end of the day, the module name has been declared to be a string. Are you okay? Module name has been declared to be a string. So that's what it's going to display. So it's going to get the module name and return the module name to us. Are you okay? Now let's come to the main class where all this thing is going to be.
Fina,
Yes, please.
so we didn't set it here. Can you explain why, please?
We didn't set, as in, we didn't use setters.
You see, in encapsulation, we did we set like in the module name per se. We will set module name.
We set module name.
Oh, I'm confusing myself.
We didn't set any, we just stated empty variable, empty attributes or fields. Okay. Then
Okay, okay, okay.
an object inherited from these private fields. But for the object to be able to display to us what is inheriting, okay, that's when we needed a what? A getter. Okay, we needed a getter to be able to do that, to return and get it and return it. Are you okay? But we
Yes,
did
yes, I'm
so
okay.
far, we have not used setters. We have not touched setters yet. And I'm hoping that probably in the principle of abstraction, okay, we'll look at how setters also work. Okay. And I think polymorphism as well, if necessary, we'll be using setters as well. But for now, we know what getters do, right? What they do. So at the end of the day, if I want to display the module name because it is private, okay, there is a need that I have to what use a getter. Okay, so I came to the main class. What did I do in the main class? This one is encapsulation. What we did for encapsulation, so don't really look at it. But for the purpose of the fact that it shouldn't be confusing as when we run our code, I will comment them out. Are you okay? So let our main focus be upon inheritance. What is inheritance going to right now? I'll clear this. Okay, I'll clear this for now. There, allow me to clear this. Then let's code it and then see how we can apply these things. Okay. All right. What I'm going to create an object here in this main class, and then that object is now going to inherit. Okay, certain things. That's the attributes. Okay. Objects are supposed to have attributes and are supposed to do something. So they should also have methods. Okay. That's if you want them to do something. So now what class am I going to be creating the object for? I'm going to create it for the car class. Okay. Are you okay? And then I want to name it my motto. It's a motto I'm creating it for. Are you okay? That's how they are mobile hand. Two people, please speak to me. Why? Okay, so I'm naming it my motto. Okay. And then we know how we that's the object. The object I'm creating is called my motto. Are you okay? But we know how to declare a memory space for this. So we call upon the constructor. By we declare by using new. Okay, then we call upon the constructor. Okay. Then what is the constructor having? The constructor we created for the car class has these two things as parameters. It's first supposed to take the string brand and then the string what model name. How did brand end up inside the class as an attribute? Look, when I input brand right now into the constructor, where is the constructor going to store the brand? Because I never created any attribute for it. This is supposed to tell you what we call as what the inheritance. So now the constructor does what? It looks at this and says, okay, there was no brand created yet, but it has been stated that there's a constructor already inside where I'm inheriting from that is doing something with brand. So let me just attend or visit that constructor and say, okay, let me look at what you are doing with brand. Please, are you following? Then it saw what it's doing in brand and says that, okay, there is an attribute already stated here that's okay, there's a container or attribute or field called brand or instance variables as another name given to it. No. Okay, then what are you doing with it as a constructor? What are you doing with it? You are just picking it up or whatever the user will input up as you can see over here. That's the constructor inheritance. After all, we are inheriting, we are what do we call it? We are inheriting from the class inheritance. So that's why there's a need for us to use the name of the class for the constructor. So you can see that the sense to it is now achieved. Why am I using the name of the class for the constructor? Because at the end of the day, when I'm inheriting and then I'm using a constructor, okay, inside where I'm inheriting from, okay, that constructor must bear the name of the class I'm inheriting from. You understand? Or you understand? Sure, this is not responsiveness. Anyway, let's continue. So I assume that you all understand. So car motor constructor, what are the parameters we give to the constructor for the car class? What are some of the parameters? We give the string. So immediately we create string, first string is assigned it to brand automatically. So what brand are we using? We are going to use for a motor. We need something like Yamaha. I normally love Yamaha. Yamaha is nice. Yeah. All right, Yamaha house or whatever, or however it's called. Then for the model, okay, for the model, what do we need? Maybe I want M what? Is it MT O 07. So it's a brand of Yamaha. I love it so much. It's so nice. When I finish, then what do I do? I what? I terminate my code. Oh, people. Let's proceed. So I terminate my code. Okay. Now, how do I display all these things? Because this is your end. The user does not see this. Okay. So how is the user going to see all these things at the end of the day? Okay. So as a constructor, you have picked these things up from the user, you have sent it. Okay. So what if the user goes to use your software and wants to see for sure his brand and then his model name of the thing he or she purchased from you. Okay, so now you are going to show out to the person. Okay, what do you want to see out to the person? You can make some sentence with it. Maybe I can say hello. Let me do this. Hello. Wait, I'm trying to type hello with one. Okay, so hello. Then I'll come here and concatenate it to something. Maybe your. Let me just put full stop here. Type here. Your. Then your motto. Okay, let me see. Your motto is of the brand. Is of the brand. What brand? Then I strictly concatenate it with a get. Okay. So I say get dot. Hey, sorry. I'm supposed to name the object. My motto. Okay, my motto dot get brand. Are you okay? So the getter goes and gets the brand from the private field. Are you okay? Then so your sentence will be hello. Your motto is of the brand, and so I can continue and say and string. So and the model and of the model. What model should I print? Okay, then I come and concatenate it with the name of the model. Okay, then uh, if I want to use the method for it as is what do we call it? Start engine, I can use that. Okay. How do I apply that over here? Want a sentence for it. So hello, your motto is of the brand Yamaya and the model MT07. MT07. Let me just another sentence. Can you say new line? Remember new lines? Backwards and remember from the it has to exist inside. So new line. Oh, new line. And so on the new line, what is it supposed to display? Your let me hear it. Your then I bring in the method. Okay, the method here was what? Start engine. So I can say your my motto. Yes, press enter and continue. My motto dot start engine. Okay, so we can run it and see what it says. Okay, okay, so we are saying hello. Your motto is of the brand Yamaha and the model MT07. Your engine started successfully. This is the principle of inheritance were achieved. It's the principle of inheritance were achieved. Okay. All right. Thank you for your response, Emmanuel. Okay, so any questions? Any questions? If you have any questions, you can ask. At this point, we should ask questions for any clarification if you want.
Please, can you go over the inheritance again?
Whoa. I should what? Which part of the
Just
inheritance?
brush through, just brush through, like, you know what I'm saying.
Since last time, this one be since last time.
Okay, so um I want to know which part you are confused with. So I know. We have said a lot. We have covered the so inheritance in the sense that two different classes and one class. That's why from the beginning I wanted you people to read so that you see that we are working with two different classes here into two categories. And we said that the first category is a subclass and a superclass as the second. So therefore, there must be a class, okay, two different classes, and one is inheriting an attribute that is existing already that it needs because maybe it holds that same attribute, okay. It's just inheriting that attribute or method from the other class. So we are saying that how does that when we are typing or creating that other class, we should just extend it, okay. We should just extend it to that class, okay, and then go and pick up something there. When I was when we created a class, we gave the class its own attributes that it's supposed to hold. But how does it get the attributes of where what is inheriting from? So we just stated all the constructor, we created a constructor holding all the or going to pick up all these data and put them in their respective fields or instant variables or attributes. But for some reason, we created one thing that a constructor is supposed to pick, but created no field for it. Why? Because it is already being inherited from another field. That attribute is already being inherited from another class. Sorry. Are you okay? So we just said that when a constructor picks this thing, it's picking this thing. What is it supposed to do? It's supposed to pick it up, okay, and because as when it's done picking it up, it has nowhere to store it. You can see that we didn't even tell it what it's supposed to do with it. But because we are inheriting from somewhere, a constructor has already been told what to do with this thing that this constructor has picked up. All we just said is that whatever the super class is doing with the brand, pick it up and do the same. That's all that we've done. Then because this guy was stated and it only exists inside this class, we said that, okay, whatever you pick up as a constructor for the model name, store it inside the private field model name. To get access to the model name, we have to use a getter. And then likewise, to get access to the brand, we have to use a getter. Do you understand? Now we came to the main class to put these things into test. And we want to see if indeed the car class did inherited the brand that was typed here, but had nowhere to be stored inside its class, but was stored in another class, and in later on inherited back into its class. Are you okay? It had no attributes or no field to store it in its class. It needed no attributes and or field to store it because it extends to that attribute in another class. Are you okay? So it just extends to it. So after the constructor has picked it up and has nothing to do with it, it now looks at and says that, okay, it has been stated here that because I have nowhere to put this information, go to the super where you are inheriting from and then look at what the constructor has been told to do with this information and do the same. Do you understand? So it just did the same. Then I want to print out all this information to the computer user. Are you okay? Remember, even this method called start engine was not stated inside the class car class. It was stated inside the inheritance class, this class. But because I have extended my class, car class, subclass, okay, to this parent class called inheritance, I am not just inheriting the attributes, I'm also inheriting its methods. So therefore, I can use its method like as if though it is existing within me or my class. Do you understand? So that is what happened here. So I just printed out. What did I print out? I printed out this information and said, hello, your motto, your motto is of the brand. Then I stated the brand. Are you okay? Remember who this object I created belongs to. It belongs to this car class. It does not belong to the inheritance class. So why then am I able to use this object, this method of the inheritance class to this object that belongs to this car class, like as if though I stated that I stated this method inside the car class. Is because of inheritance. This is possible because of inheritance. Remember, the class does not only inherit its attributes, it also inherits its methods because you have extended it. So therefore, whatever object we create for that class, okay, should also be able to inherit the methods that that class extends to. So that's what I did. I said this object should now hold or display this method, that it is in the inheritance class because it is inheriting from there. Do you understand? So I hope the explanation has been achieved. Oh, okay. All right then. Then we can call it a day. But before we call it a day, I would like to use some 2 minutes to explain how final works. Final. This one is just assisting me with my plugins. I think I made a note on it. Yeah. Give me a moment. The key concept is, let me go to WPs, please. So I want Java. All right. Then in Java, I want to look at inheritance. Here's inheritance. Now let's look at final. I really don't like this definition for final. Final has a very, very defined way of using it. Final. Get us at that's a very interesting question to this area that made use of the final. Um, repeat the entire credence. No, no, same style. This is not. I asked another question afterwards. Okay. So here is it. He said I should use the final um, over here, and it explained why I'm. So let's look at it real quick. Why final? Okay, and it says that this means you can assign it only once. So we use final when we have a fixed brand. We have like we said, fixed brand. So if I'm saying that all the brands I'm working with should be fixed, it should be no, the constructor should not have the ability to change it. Are you okay? So therefore I'll use the word final. So you can see here that it says private final string brand. Are you okay? Then after that, cannot be changed. So after I'm going to assign, so if I assign something to it, then it cannot be changed. So in other words, if I initialize it with a name of a brand, it cannot be changed. That's the meaning of the final. Are you okay? I hope that one too has been like understood. So you can see here that it is asking me to remove this part of the statement in the constructor. Why? Because I've used final and the constructor cannot do it. If I initialize it by using final and I give it an initial value, the constructor does not have the right to pick a user input and then move it to that side to change what is there. You understand? Because I've declared that whatever I've initialized for it, okay, it's final. That's what it's supposed. That's supposed to be the brand. It shouldn't change. Are you okay? So then say that this is what I'm supposed to do rather. You understand? Only maintain the model name, but nothing for the brand because I've initialized brand and I've stated it to be final. Okay. Any question about that? No question. All right. So let's call it an evening then. All right. Have a good night.
Okay, boss. Okay.
Good night, Tina.
All right. Good night.
Tina,
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
sorry, I was busy. Please, I will like you to help me with something.
Sure. Sure. You can
Yeah,
chat to me. Let's have a
sure.
look at it.
Thank you. All right.